This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started.
Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I am your host, Jolly, the Professor. And with me as always is the blue-eyed bomber of the Bashful Burger Pit.
Phil me and Perich.
Welcome, Philip, once again to Superconnectivity.
Hello.
The only show where your connections are not only connected,
But they're super.
but are super connected. Okay. God damn it, lying. We didn't rehearse any of this.
Line.
He's just a great improver. He knew where I was going. He wanted to do his, he wanted his own thing for quality.
I wanted it all.
He deserves it all, Philip. The man who works a full-time job, raising a great kid, making a beautiful wife happy, living the dream, Philip, lives the dream, and runs an entire podcast network, because, all of the energy and talent in the world that all of us lack, it all went into Phil. And that's just our love of Phil. Because Phil is my Valentine.
Aww.
My podcast Valentine. Okay, so let's get this out of the way because I want to make Phil happy. Because it is Valentine's Day. We're going to talk comics first. I want to talk Iron Man 2020, and I'm going to be mean to it.
Do it.
I'm going to be mean to it. Robo-racism isn't racism. Okay?
They're living things, Charlie, yes, sir.
No, they literally are not.
Are they trying to do like the Mr. Data thing? It's like, oh, they're sentient being,
Well, yeah, but
they're not doing it well. They're not doing it well.
So here's where they lost me. Where they had the robot revolution attacking the people trying to make the stabilized robot walking device and kicking over the robot to see if it can get up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you know why that's incredibly stupid in this universe they've established? Because robots can already get up. We've mastered bipedal robots in this universe.
We got freaking Ultron.
Yeah, we don't need to figure out how do you work out a gyro mechanism to keep the robot stable or to help the robot stand up. So they try to play it off as, oh, look at these guys being cruel to this robot. It's like, well, no, these are scientists experimenting on a device to try and make it better, to try and strengthen it. And if you've already cracked that code, you don't need to do this basic work,
Yeah, basic.
Exactly. And let's put their sentient crash test dummies into the car. It's like, none of these are things. None of this is ways you would use AI. I mean, to put it to you really frankly, the way you would use an AI in a crash test simulation is the way we actually use AI in crash test simulations right now, which is you make a crash test simulation god and have it torture the beings within it,
Do they actually have like robotic crash test dummies? I always thought they were just like mannequins or.
Well, no, they've actually made ones. I mean, they have sensors in them.
Yeah, sensors, but not like actual like brain.
No, because why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
What would be the point of this? What knowledge would this scientist gain from it? And this is why this is a stupid story that doesn't make any sense. Oh, and it just really bugged the heck out of me because I'm trying to read this thing. I'm trying as hard as I can.
I don't know, because like I told you, I had this problem with Slot on Amazing Spider-Man. I think he tries to go big with his stuff, and I don't think he's good at the big overarching. Like when he does like a small like character-driven story, I think it's much better.
Well, the thing is, you could tell an AI store. Here's the thing: it's like there are ways you can make this into something different, and maybe they will, because there's definitely something going on in the backstory, and maybe Arno's a part of it, and like maybe the entire robot revolution, and even Tony Stark thinking he's an AI is because Oh,
I understand that, like,
yeah,
I understand, like,
I can see it as part of someone else's bigger master plan.
Yeah,
but it's just a poor way to go through it.
I'm sure there's like Stark tech that brought him back, but I'm like, wouldn't Tony Stark be more like a clone than like an actual?
Well, he
AI?
is a clone, and that's the thing. It's like, and not for nothing, Tony Stark's like Dr. Doom. He don't mind. He don't mind being a clone. Oh man, but that was actually something kind of interesting I thought about. So this is just pure fan theory. Every time you kill Doom, it's a Doom bot.
Yeah.
Here's my fan theory that I would love someone to explore at some point.
Stark bot.
No.
Okay.
This is a Doom related thing.
Okay.
It's not that every time you kill Doom, it's a Doom bot. It's that Doom always has a Doom bot ready to teleport in once he's been killed, when he's about to die. So anytime he thinks he's about to die, he immediately teleports back a Doom bot in, and here's the fun part. You want something fun? That's why all Doom bots wear Doom armor.
Oh.
Because he's not teleporting the Doom bot in. He's teleporting himself out of his armor into the Doom bot's armor. And then the Doombot's mechanics go into the Doombot armor.
I'll go you one better. How about this?
Yeah.
Doom hasn't left the castle since the 60s. He either magic or science. He transfers his consciousness into the Doombots. So when they're about to be destroyed, all he got to do is pull his brain out. And
yeah. That was something I was thinking about, because I was thinking, could a Doombot actually work magic?
Ooh.
Because I think we saw the last Doombot actually do some magic. I'm not sure. But I gotta feel like it did something, and for nothing else, it was in the midst of magic being used. So maybe the Doombot, if it wasn't magical, would have been a tell for it.
Well, maybe that proves my theory then. Like, say, like Doom's consciousness or even his soul, if he can transfer them into a Doombot, because I mean, Doctor Strange can do magic in his astral form, right?
Exactly, and for what it's worth, Doom absolutely has the ability to project himself astrally and to switch his soul into other beings. And if you had that power immediately, you'd be thinking, well, what if I put it into a robot instead?
Yeah, exactly.
And along those same lines, you have this interesting idea that, what if Dr. Doom, so here's the reason why I say he probably has to teleport, is we've seen Doom's armor get blown off of him and his body underneath. Now, it could be LMD technology.
Exactly.
Or it could be that the part that does that once that part that gets teleported gets damaged, he can't do that trick anymore, and he has to find another way out of the situation.
Oh, or even, if he needs like a body to do magic, what if maybe not Doombots, but what if he just has a bunch of clones running around in armor and he just transfers his consciousness into these empty clones?
Oh, that's an internal possibility. Or let's split the difference. There are actually Dr. Dooms inside Doombots, essentially Terminators, where they've got the fleshy parts on the outside that are hard metal coating, and they're all like genetically stem cell bred off of him, but then so he can jump in, jump out, transfer bodies, whatever he needs to do. But every so often he might get caught flat-footed. And now he's just a human being, and he has to survive on his own. And he does a good job when he does.
And if one of his, bodies
he's got some of that Conan DNA we were talking about.
Yeah, and if one of his bodies or Doombots gets destroyed, don't you want the, whoever destroys it to think, look, there's Victor Von Doom. The menace of Dr. Doom has been destroyed.
Yeah. Well, or you want to have the parts of the people know that there's never really, and he may have like a couple gears like sewn into his skin, just so that if he ever actually does it, he could, wait, what are these gears doing here? That was a Doombot the whole time. Dr. Doom lives. We're still in terror and fear. Dr. Doom is Dr. Doom kind of is growing on me. I know he's a ne'er-do-well dropout. He's your basic exchange student. It's like, oh no, I am too cool to do this study. I just do smart on my own, and I don't need your capitalist American system because I am barren in my own country, you know.
But the one flaw in our plan, it's like if he has clone, he can make clones. He has magic, but his face is still scarred up.
Yeah, well, because he has to do that to maintain the story. And to be fair, we only know his face is scarred up when he's due.
Yes,
his clothes could look perfect.
True.
You know, I mean, to be fair, it's like you might you actually encountered a Doombot. Well, first off, he might screw up their faces just because he's just that petty.
I was gonna say I would think he's so vain that he would clone himself a new body immediately and he'd be like, "Look, my face is all restored."
No, because he feels that would be cheating. That's the whole thing. He wants to do it because he's just so cool. It's done. It's essentially like that's what Otto would do. Otto's a scientist, and I was like, "No, I just would make a new body. I do that all the time. It's cool. I could even make myself skinny if I wanted to, because I literally can do that. But the fact of the matter is most times I just, no, why should I?
Just slap a 3-piece suit on it.
Hey, White Suit Otto is the best Otto ever.
Yes, it is.
Okay, White Suit Otto is basically Marvel's The Penguin.
Even better.
Without a doubt. But, you have to, so people understand, the Penguin is, the high-class, dapper,
it's a fancy
thief
man
of the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of, who is it? Phantomex? Yeah, I think it's Phantomex. He's Phantomex, but fat. He's a fat Phantomex. He's a fancy man about town who does just enjoy the thievery.
Yes.
But he's also, for what it's worth, like I say, one of the first ample American main characters in an arc. Yes, he's the villain. We gotta do that. But he is shown to be, a brilliant strategist in his own right and a threat to the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And also a guy who's smart enough to say, you know what? I'm just not going to play. If I can't win the game, I'm not going to play. Smartest move you can make is knowing when not to play. Speaking of which, we're going to do that reading later, but one of my favorite things I read this week, as far as stories go...
Amazing Spider-Man,
but not the main plot, which was still great, but also the subplot, where apparently they're completely doing this totally integrated universe here, which is why I think this story does kick off that teens shouldn't be superheroes shtick that's going to be coming up.
Ah.
I do think it's going to be tied very heavily into Amazing Spider-Man, but they're kind of saying, see, this is all contemporary. There's everything going on right now. But in fact, to that end, what's going on right now involves the Foreigner, who is central to the entire Captain America plot that is kind of off in its own world right now.
Yes.
So I kind of get the feeling this is their way of saying, you know what, that Captain America stuff, that was just before all this happened. So once Ta-Nehisi Coates wraps up his story, Captain America is going to jump forward to the rest of the universe. Because this is all stuff that happened beforehand. And at least, or possibly after, because maybe then we get to see, the Foreigner to actually die. I don't know, but man, of all the obscure characters for Ta-Nehisi Coates to pick, he picked the Foreigner, and then for them to put the Foreigner in here, it's like that has got to have had editorial approval, because, like I said, Ta-Nehisi Coates picking a villain whose name is the Foreigner is definitely a Ta-Nehisi Coates move.
Oh yeah,
it's we have a character whose actual name is the Foreigner. Yeah, he's going to be in my story.
Think about it.
I don't care what he does. I just need if there's a way to say he's a villain and how scared he is, he's a Foreigner.
The evil Foreigner. Yeah.
He's also, ironically enough, a white dude. So that's plays with the whole mindset. But it's it's delightful. And that's the kind of stuff that Ta-Nehisi Coates loves as a fiction author, I'm sure. Um, big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, even though he does not, like the stuff that H.P. Lovecraft writes about. But it's like, oh, it's great writing. It's like, oh, but he also, yeah, I don't know if we ever actually get to see Plato or Socrates at the end of The Good Place, and that might be telling. That might be more telling about whether or not the jerk from the second experiment got in. For those wondering, this relates to The Good Place, a show Lilith and I watched that Phil does not. Scroll down, up,
I think
sideways?
down.
Somewhere. It's in there. The Capes and Lunatics just before this one, but yeah.
Episode 144. Yeah.
Anyway, it is all good in the hood. But yeah, but I love the Foreigner being there. I love Chance having to steal the web shooters off of Spider-Man. And oh man, you want to know okay, so spoilers. Hopefully they can't change it before I tell this, before this post. Spoilers. Pete's gonna realize J. Jonah Jameson was right.
Oh.
The Chance is gonna explain the situation. Like, here, have a freaking web shooter. It's like, you can get these on the black market, and I know, but they said I had to get the one off of you. It's like, okay, well, here it is. It's like, okay, great. We talked our way out of it. He's going to Ms. Marvel the whole thing. Because Ms. Marvel or Squirrel Girl likes to talk their way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, that's really much more of a Squirrel Girl kind of a situation. But Ms. Marvel has been shown that she wants to talk people out of it. And that's going to be our counterpoint on that.
Ooh.
Which is that, yes, teens shouldn't be superheroes, but also many modern teens like my teens and Phil's someday teens, they've been raised in a world where, hey, you know what? Maybe humans who aren't us are still humans, and maybe they have their own motivations, and we should just talk about this with them.
Ooh.
And so that's going to be that perspective, because they're going to make it super generational. And that idea that just because I'm a kid doesn't mean I don't understand power, responsibility, and empathy. And maybe it's going to get down to that fact that, hey, maybe Peter, you were just kind of a rotten kid. Let's face it, you're basically Hawkeye who got scared straight. Because he is literally basically Hawkeye who got scared straight. He's a guy. He wanted to make him a name for himself as a superhero. And for what it's worth, speaking about Hawkeye, he's killing lots of folks right now.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, Avengers don't kill. That lasted lasted for like 20 years, but still. Apparently, once he decided he was okay with killing Osborn, he's okay with killing just about everybody now. I don't even know if the last time he was Ronin, he killed people. But
oh man, he put a arrow in Banner's head.
Yeah, But to be fair, Banner asked him to.
Yes.
I
got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but he's got the taste for it, I guess. And so man, for everyone that was like mad about him saying he wanted to kill Osborn, I am imagining they're a little upset about this because I guess if you're a Booster Gold fan, you want your Booster to stay pure, you want your Hawkeye to stay pure, but one could make the point that his entire origin was never pure. I mean, he's literally a carny.
Mm-hmm.
He's a carny. He's a traveling carny who got into superheroing. He's basically Ghost Rider without the mystical pathos of it all.
I mean, think about it. I mean, so he was a villain supposedly when he first showed up because of a misunderstanding. But what if it wasn't? What if he?
Well, yeah. Well, that was actually one of the things I was thinking about. It's like that is what I would really love to see. I mean, that is a Disney Plus story I really want to see. Is Black Widow and Hawkeye Year One, where it is a young Black Widow and a young Hawkeye, and him first seducing him. And we don't need to get ScarJo and whatever his name is for this, but get like people that could possibly be their younger selves.
Mm-hmm.
You could even throw in Tony Stark as the impetus of this in the idea. And here's my pitch for this. Okay, here is my MCU canonical pitch for a young Hawkeye Black Widow series. Hawkeye, doing his show, gets upstaged by not Tony Stark Iron Man, but just Tony Stark, the freaking billionaire scientist, jerkwad.
Oh.
And he's thinking, man, how can I not be bigger than Tony Stark? And he looks at it and says, well, and he realizes, because of course he's a nerd in the MCU, you know who used to be bigger than Howard Stark? Captain America.
Oh.
And he gets himself an outlandish, comics accurate costume and goes out to save the day. Wackiness ensues. Meets up with Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
Winds up an enemy of young Tony Stark and who was the younger remember in the first one? It wasn't Justin Hammer.
Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane. Possibly even being employed by Obadiah Stane the whole time.
Oh.
And in this arc, you get to see Hawkeye's freaking superheroic idealism, his influence from Captain America as an ideal, kind of wearing down Natasha, so that after Budapest, they both join up with S.H.I.E.L.D. And you get this nice push and pull, will they, won't they, even as, Natasha's clearly being a manipulative person to get him to do evil, and he's becoming this redeeming quality of, and you could even have a great little thing in there like, oh, really? I mean, is this capitalist someone worth protecting? Oh my gosh, this is the perfect series for this point in history. As everyone's trying to roll out their guillotines, this is the time to have the Hawkeye Scarlet Witch show.
Black Widow.
Disney, give me a call. We're going to make it work. I got an idea. It's going to be good.
Oh my lord, can you imagine that retcon in the comics if they were revealed Hawkeye's been working on the inside the whole time? They show he's evil, and it's the whole time everyone thought Black Widow was manipulating him back in the day, and he was like, "Oh, honey, I was leading you along,"
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you do know his origin is that he was manipulated by the Black Widow.
Yeah, no. It's just okay. I let you think that, but guess what?
Well, no. Well, my point is he's Booster Gold.
Yeah.
It's not that he's evil. It's just that his motivations were never really that pure. His motivation towards purity was, hey, people like Captain America. He's a superhero. I'm going to be like him. Just like Booster Gold is like, hey, people love that Superman. I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to be Superman and be Superman's best pal. Booster Gold. I'm going to wear a cape, and Superman's going to tell him that, no, you're not ready for the cape.
Oh, that was one of the scenes in this week's Superman Heroes, when I was talking about on Capes about, the heroes reacting to Clark Kent coming out as Superman. They just show Booster, I don't know where he was at, in the Himalayas or something. He's yelling, Clark Kent! And Superman shows up. He's like, what's wrong? He's like, Booster's like, oh, nothing. You know how long I've been holding that in? He's like, basically saying, oh, I knew the whole time you're Clark Kent. He's like, you know how many times I almost slipped and told people you were Clark Kent? He's like, whoo, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, it makes sense. He is from the future.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, even if he wasn't from the future, he's from, even if Clark Kent never revealed his identity, stuff like that would have become known in the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Yes, Tristan. Really loudly.
In Terminator Genesis, there were 3 villain Terminators. One was a young Arnold. The second was the remake of the T-1000. And the third one was the Terminator hybrid John Connor.
Okay, good to know.
And those were 3, and one of them, good Arnold.
Yes, the good Arnold was the hero, the older Arnold, the one that had AIDS.
The one in the new one?
Yes. What was this called? Terminator?
Genesis.
Yeah. I think that was the last one they did.
Terminator gets my walker.
Oh, no, Terminator Dark Fate was the last one. Terminator Genesis, I guess, predates that.
Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate is now.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea about any of these shows, but Tristan knows them all because, like I was saying in the last episode of Case of Lunatics, scroll to the left, scroll to the right, scroll up, scroll down until you fight. you can become a scholar in all sorts of things nowadays because there's so much analysis of it out there in the world, both synopses and dissertations on it. And Tristan is a scholar on films he's never seen, which is an amazing thing. And I think this is something that I think exists throughout modern culture in a way that even as a young man, as a young nerd, I, of course, was aware of this concept because there were many things I knew of that I didn't ever experience, but certainly it seems to be almost the rote now for young people to just find out about all the other pop cultural references that predate them, and to build a larger and larger canon of a shared universe.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, we're part of this world now between YouTube videos and podcasts. I mean, you don't have to watch anything. People will explain stuff to you.
Exactly. And quite frankly, it's better that way.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. You know what I discovered today? I know you're not watching Picard, but I guess like they have an official Picard podcast now. Well, the episodes are like 30 some minutes. I was going to say, if you don't want to watch it,
we can run that.
No, it's something different. No, I forget. It's nobody I heard of, but I don't know if it's like the official CBS. Like, yeah, it's not Wheaton. It's something else, but it's like an official podcast. But
how do we get these guys? Why do I never see a post?
I know.
Hey, need a podcast. I live in Newark, man. I can commute to New York City and be your opinionated fat guy about your pop cultural questions, man.
I mean, there's a bunch of shows that have their own official podcast now. Picard, I know even Law & Order SVU this season started their own official podcast. I'm like,
you know what it is they get an intern. They literally, it's a random intern. And it's basically the same way you get to be an assistant editor at Marvel Comics.
Well, yeah, like Marvel has their own official podcast for the comics. Like, I haven't listened to it in a while, but I think they just pulled someone in house and say, "Yeah, here, talk about this week's comics," every week.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you pull someone. I mean, sometimes you will see, I know Andre got pulled up for the Regal Cinemas, but that was like the video thing. So I believe it was Andre the Black Nerd got pulled into that, and several people will build their brand in that way and can get those kind of gigs. But man, I would love to get a gig.
I would love
working for Marvel and doing this stuff, man. Marvel, by the Capes and Lunatics podcast, I'm sure that Phil and Rob will sell it to you for a nice, reasonable amount, and actually give me a paycheck for this.
I mean, I would almost. Well, I shouldn't say this, but I would almost do it for free, just for like, hey, can we mention Capes and Lunatics every 2 seconds?
Well, I mean, I would imagine it would be the case. It would be. Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's a non-compete.
For right now, I'd be willing to do something for somebody just to build the brand. It's
Yeah, but I wouldn't do nothing for Disney for free. No. Yeah. I love them dearly, but it's like no, man. If you want me to like do something for you, you got to pay me. I think I'll do it on my own. No mic podcast myself. I'll talk about how much I love you guys for free, but if you want me to do it for pay, I'd like to be paid.
And I think right now Disney's gonna be like, yeah, that's okay, we don't need you. It's like, hey, DC, you need something. I don't think you have an official podcast. Hey, come here.
Does DC not have an official podcast?
I don't believe so. I know Marvel does, but yeah, I don't think DC does, unless I missed something.
Oh man!
Even if they do, which I don't think they do, but even if they do, look at it. I'm a hardcore DC fan. I don't know if it's out there, I don't know about it. So something's wrong.
And here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you want a DC podcast that's really going to get people interested, you get Phil and Charlie, because I got to film myself in this. Because Phil knows it all. He is Phil, Foamy, and Perich. And I'm the everyman wandering in the wilderness. What is this crazy DC comics you're talking about? I don't know. Phil, could you fill me in?
Hey.
And then you give me a check and give my kids health insurance, and everybody's happy.
Hey, 4-person round table. You, me, Lilith, and Tyler. I mean.
Oh, there we go. That's 3 DC people.
Yes.
And me as the idiot. I'll be the idiot. I'm happy. I'm good with that. And there's your drop, though.
I won't use that. No, I mean.
No, please use that as much as you can. I actually like that. That came out perfectly. Unless the sound quality was awful.
No, I think it came out.
We'll re-record it another time. But Anyway,
But yeah,
so
someone hire us.
So many things.
Oh, hey,
But, yeah.
I know you have other topics you want to talk about, but Immortal Hulk, you said it's not as bad. It wasn't as bad.
No, it almost like got its foot like. Okay, I don't know if you were ever a kid. Okay, so let me tell you a story. One time I was a little kid. I was at my mom's boss's house for their like company party. You know, you had the company picnic kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a big pool. I was a little kid. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old. Had to wear a life preserver because I couldn't swim then. But I didn't have to wear the life preserver if I was in the shallow. And I was in the shallow, and I was like, fine, okay, I can be in the shallow end.
Yeah.
And but the problem with when you're in the shallow end and you can't swim, and it has a deep end, is you just keep on walking and walking it first up your knees and up your neck, and then you're just sort of standing on your tippy toes.
Then all of a sudden it just dropped.
And then, well, not even dropped, but just suddenly you don't have the ground to get your tippy toes down anymore.
Yeah, you can kind of slide, yeah.
Yeah, and once you lose the ground on your tippy toes, now you're in trouble. And, almost died. People jumped in. I got saved. It wasn't a big deal. But one of like the 2 times I almost drowned in my life. One time I fell through the ice. Fortunately, it wasn't that deep of ice. But I fell through it. I was under the ice. My brother Henry saved my life. So, hey, thank you, Henry. Which is why I always love him and care for him through thick and thin. Yeah. Because, hey, man, it's a wonderful life kind of story right there.
Nice.
But, yeah, that's a reference that hasn't been podcasted enough for you guys to get about falling through the ice and how saving someone falling through the ice changes everybody's life. But, man, Phil's life right now, if my brother Henry hadn't saved me from the ice, imagine it.
I know. There's this big Charlie Exercised hole in my life. I know.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even know what it was. That's the sad.
I know. I wouldn't know.
Buffalo Gals, would you come out tonight? Dancing right in the middle. Okay, moving right along. What was I saying?
Hulk?
But no. So the Hulk, which has been basically lost its tippy toe for so long, might have just gotten its tippy toe back and might be able to get itself back because there is something happening now. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear, but this Hulk apparently has mind control powers to make you remember things differently than they were.
Oh yeah.
Which now I want to go read that original story that he appeared in to see, wait, is that a power he actually had? Or is this an I Am Groot situation where someone just decided, no, we're just going to change it because, we're stupid. But yeah, it's kind of cool. And of course that gets referenced real time in the Spider-Man comic this week as well. So yeah, and I really love the idea of how memory and thoughts about memory affect things, and we get the doctor's perspective on this because, of course, she had been working in a mutant growth hormone factory and trying to do some other kind of more human biological cures for people, for the Kingpin to do these black market cures for cancer, because Roxxon Pharma, they like to hold that close to the vest. And she has this memory of the first time she saw Daredevil and all the people Daredevil killed horribly because he's a freaking sociopath. From her perspective, and then suddenly when she has Zenu or whatever the character's name is, suddenly now she's remembering the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk being the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds way stupider now that I say it. But like out loud, it sounds stupid as all get out, which reminds me that this is the Immortal Hulk, and so it just has the tippy toe back right now. But that, and of course, the big guy actually being the strongest Hulk there is,
mm-hmm.
which is actually the most interesting thing. It's like, yeah, he pushed me away like I was nothing.
Yeah, he was able to keep the Devil Hulk down. Yeah,
yeah, it's like I don't know why. He obviously sees, but of course, for what it's worth, that purest of Hulks, the Hulk, that's always been the Hulk that has been the strongest, and has always been the Hulk that that childlike Hulk is the one that is able to see things beyond dimension.
And do you think it's because, like, unlike Banner or even like Joe Fixit, the big guy is basically just pure emotion and anger, and it's not an intellect. He's not really a pure intellect that the Devil Hulk can control.
Well, what I will say is it's not so much that he is pure anger. You said it right the first time. He's pure emotion.
Yes.
Which is all emotion, which is love and compassion, as well as anger. And so the big guy, as the Hulk, who is the strongest one there is because he is all the Hulk, separate from Banner's attempt to control the Hulk. So if you think about the psychology of the making of a Hulk, the psychology of a Hulk, it's the super intellect with this heavy emotional and at times physical abuse, and the psychological scars that leaves. But at its core is still what one might call a pure intellect and a pure emotion. A pure human is in that had unlimited potential before it was beaten down by the world. And the idea that there is this Hulk, that the pure Hulk, the Hulk that is just intellect and emotion, that is the Hulk. And when you say intellect, that doesn't mean he talks good. It just means that he can see things and knows what they are. Because intellect isn't just how you speak or just how you react. It's how you see things, interpret them, and build upon them. And so within this, the big guy, what we call the dumb Hulk, may be the smartest and strongest Hulk there is.
Ooh.
And that would be a very interesting take on it. That it's always all of the banners, because the banner is the scar. The scars that form to heal over the emotional and physical abuse of what was the pure Bruce, the pure Hulk. These are the things that we've been interpreting, and some are more heroic, and some are more noble, and some are, quite frankly, destroyers, because it's the intellect that seeks to destroy. Why would emotion seek to destroy? Emotion would only seek to survive.
Yeah, but think about this too. That Hulk's, like you said, that Hulk's always been the strongest one there is. The madder he gets, the stronger he gets. What if it's not purely physically getting stronger? What if, like, his willpower gets stronger as he gets angrier?
Well, when he has the emotional impetus to, he says, "No, you guys get out of the way.
Yeah,
I am the base Hulk. I am who Banner is at his base." And if we get back to that kind of psychological storytelling, I'm gonna love it. I loved Krell and Puck in this. That was actually one of my favorite parts about this. Like, just from a nerd point, it's like, yeah, and of course Krell getting all superhero-y because again, he's absorbing heroism. It's like, I got my powers from a trickster god, which means there aren't really rules. So I'm going to absorb being a jet. I'm just going to be what a jet is. Because there's not rules, man. I can absorb. He's kind of like Plastic Man in that sense.
Yes.
When they talk about how Plastic Man is the most powerful character in the DC universe, because really, he's plastic. He can do anything, be anything, become anything. Even things that don't make sense for just having elastic powers. He can become things with wheels, which people with elastic powers can't actually make wheels. Because everything has to remain connected. But Plastic Man's, nope, I got wheels now. Or the Impossible Man in the Marvel Universe. I can become a rocket. That's because I just make myself into a rocket because all of my molecules, I have complete control of them. In that way, what were we talking about?
The Hulk?
The Hulk.
Crusher, Absorbing Man.
Crusher Krill, yeah, that Crusher Krill's powers are whatever he wants them to be. He just has to absorb it, I'm going to absorb what it, and we've seen them be a villain because he absorbed villainy from all the villains he's around. He even absorbed, honestly, I think probably the evil doctor's intellect in that one story when he eventually absorbs being dead, which is like just crazy stuff there. But, but that's the fun of Crusher Krill. So this is, I think, this could be the turning point where Immortal Hulk gets good again. I'm really excited about it. It's got a bit of comic book whimsy that actually makes sense within a canonical universe that doesn't make sense. and gives us a good Hulk in it. So.
Well, you know what else I think you liked about this? Probably, I mean, we did see Dario Auger a little bit this issue, but they really cut back on the Auger. Yeah,
he's the Harley Quinn of comic book.
You mean the movie? Yeah.
Let me be specific. He's the movie Harley Quinn.
Yes, less Auger. Yes.
The less he's in it, the better any story is.
Think about that. Think about that. So, some of the problems we have with some of these DC movies has been with the main character. The rest of the movie we were fine with. It was the main character, Harley Quinn, Aquaman.
Yeah. Really? Well, but that's the thing. It's like, because, some characters aren't, and I don't want to say this about Batman and Superman, because Batman and Superman are good characters. They just had bad interpretations. But if your interpretation is bad, you can't make that character be the dominant character.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't make a film about Robin if you're making Batman the main character.
Hey, Dad, that's the joke?
No.
Okay.
Tell me when I'm done with my podcast. Tune in next week. I will tell you what Tristan's joke was in the next podcast.
Oh, cliffhanger.
Got to keep him coming back. But yeah, I mean, Dario Auger is just, honestly, he was almost cool when they first introduced him, but now he's just like,
He's almost like a cross between like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain and the Kingpin.
Oh, I would not insult Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But not as cool. But not as cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he has just what he is he's just so mustache, and it's not even that I don't mind a mustache twirly villain. I just don't like what he's trying to do because it doesn't make logical sense.
Well, yeah, because in the Thor stuff, he was like dealing with like what's his name, Malekith, and like they were doing stuff with the Nine Realms and stuff. Here he's like you said, he's just sitting in his back in his easy chair, twirling his mustache
and killing people.
Yeah.
Again, this idea and
like the Joker killing off henchmen.
Well, but he's not like the Joker because it's not like he just says, "Oh, take all the money. I don't care about the money." He's actually all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what is inspiring this kind of loyalty, except the, I guess the fear of loss of health insurance? I don't know. Is the
401k?
I mean, I guess there's this argument: if you're still a capitalist society in the Reed Richards, Tony Stark world, maybe there's not a lot of jobs left.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's either this or you live off you live on welfare, but maybe welfare is pretty good. But I forget that storyline. Oh man, it was one of their earliest science fiction stories. The idea is that, there's just this constant state of robots fighting, and like humans get mad and kill all the robots because there's no jobs. But it's not that the humans have bad lives. It's just that their lives they can't better it because they are stuck in a position because robots do all the work. So they get a basic life, and it's a basic life that's just enough to see people that have more than them.
Was that a South Park episode?
It's been a lot of things.
I know. It's been a lot of things.
There's a great YouTuber, and I can't even remember which YouTuber I saw it on. But one of the many analysis of classic science fiction works. I'm going to have to try and figure that out now. And remember to mention it in the next episode because there's so many great YouTubes out there. And that's my point here, kids. I mean, I know you might be seeing this on the YouTube, and we're not as good as all those fancy YouTubers that produce stuff because we just put it all out there. But
don't say that. Yes, we are.
We're mostly a podcast, which means that we're audio based.
True.
If we really wanted to start like scripting and producing video stuff, that's a whole bag of hammers, and harder when each of us lives in a different state.
Yes.
The Capes and Lunatics are literally spread across 4 states.
Yes.
That's crazy. And yet we all came together and make podcasts that you enjoy. So
thank you, Master Doom.
Yeah, well, yes, thank you, Master Doom. I was going to say, I'd say hit the like button, but, unless you're watching this on YouTube, you could rate and review us on whatever podcast app.
Yeah, whatever
that means, do that thing. That is the rate and the review.
We haven't said that in a while, but rate, review. Yes, please spread the word.
Yeah, goodness, please. If there's a way to do that, I don't know how you do that myself, and I'm in the podcast industry. But if you thought this was good, then why don't you look and figure out how you do that, rate and review. and like rate and say, hey, you know what? These guys ain't half bad.
And spread
Half bad.
And spread the word. Tell all your friends too if you like.
Yeah, tell your friends. Share us on Facebook. Because honestly, that's the social media I use because I'm old. Okay. Anything? Oh, one last thing to talk about. Unless there's something you want to talk about, Phil.
No.
We all have to pee eventually.
Yes.
I'm more than most because I'm old, as I said. So just a fun fact: we got the Stranger Things season 4 teaser trailer, and we do see that Hopper is alive in Russia, and it got me thinking. Just as a fun fact, Hopper is the same guy who plays Crimson Guardian in the new Black Widow film. And Stranger Things takes place in the 80s, which is probably about the time that Scarlett Johansson would have been starting her career as a widow. So craziest of all fan theories, because it's like cross company that don't even like each other anymore. But could you imagine if Hopper gets the super soldier serum in Russia, becomes the Red Guardian, and it's actually all just tied into Stranger Things? That's my theory. Write up some fan fiction for it, kids. Link to us, and we will link back to it, but nothing too dirty, guys. Come on.
It's
still a family podcast.
That's one of those fan theories that you'll never see take place. People say the dad from Malcolm in the Middle goes into witness protection and becomes Walter White in Breaking Bad.
Well, I mean, not canonically, but there's lots of fan fiction about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that won't happen canonically, but it's still a fun thought. Let's see here. I haven't even gotten the chance to read Agents of Wakanda yet. More Robot Rebellions.
Yeah, no, I didn't read
But
that.
I actually think maybe handling it a little better than Iron Man 2020 because they're handling it poorly. So, because that's the thing. It's like, if you're going to have super AI, it should be a singular question. It's like, oh, these are robots that have been made with super AI. Mm-hmm. You don't just have that, oh yeah, every robot that works on the work site has thoughts and feelings and passion. Which is why I almost feel like the one thing in Iron Man 2020 when they have the de-inhibitor. The de-inhibitor isn't something that, oh gosh, okay, so that's the whole plot. So, as you might recall, there was a cat that had a thing that could make the cat talk.
Yeah.
But really the AI was talking, it was just using the cat as a thing. That's what the de-inhibitor is. It's not that these are sentient robots, it's that they're putting a de-inhibitor on a robot. And the de-inhibitor basically runs an AI program that makes the robot act like it's human. Or acts like it's intelligent. So there was never any actual sentient robots being oppressed. It was just this big thing, probably to create panic about sentient robots taking over, and now you need your Banetronic Wi-Fi Zapperdoodle to keep your robots in line. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the thing. Okay, so that story's solved. Mark my words, the de-inhibitor actually is what's causing the robots to be sentient and rise up. Prior to that, they have no concept of self and only follow orders because they are freaking robots. And the whole point of robots is they follow orders. So, okay. Any final thoughts on anything else tonight, this week, Philip?
No, I think we did a good job covering everything.
We did a good job. Make sure that your deck chairs on your Titanic are properly placed, just like they did after the fact on Harley Quinn, because that's just ridiculous to say, oh, we'll change the name and that's going to make everyone like the movie now. And maybe less so. But yeah, that was that whole thing. And, Bat Pat stole stuff from the Gotham evidence locker and prevented the guy who killed his parents from ever being caught and brought to justice. So, that's a good thing. But now he's on his own petty vengeance kick. So, yeah, there we go. These are things I didn't get to say when we talked about these things earlier. So, but they are bad, and Batman is bad, and the new Bat-Pat is bad. Looks like poor cosplay. But, yeah, fight me, nerds. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser, with the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Miles. And of course, recommend an old-fashioned email with Miles and Bob at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And Phil, you do your thing now because I'm doing it in all crazy order today.
I know, you caught me off guard there. Yeah.
I know I did.
You can
I
follow.
can see the panic in your eyes, but you're a professional.
I was like, "Where's the
you
button?
caught
Where's
it.
the button?"
But you're a professional, Phil. I don't think anyone listening even caught it.
Maybe. But anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at NightwingPDP. You can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com, and follow Superconnectivity. We can always pimp Capes and Lunatics. Superconnectivity, the show, is on Facebook and Twitter at SuperConnectPod. But yeah, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, and the voicemail is 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. I challenge you people, throw out a crazy fan theory and see what Charlie Esser molds out of your clay.
I will make it into greatness. Okay, Tristan, quickly, loudly, tell me your joke.
So, once I saw this piece where it said a guy was once army man, a doctor, and an astronaut before his age of 38. And it's a finally opponent, and you'll show Barbie, because Barbie has some dogs.
Very good. Could you hear that, Philip?
I missed some of it, yeah.
Okay, so the plot line is, so there was a meme that Tristan saw, which was this person who had been through the military and became a soldier, a doctor, and an astronaut, all before the age of 38. And then it says, finally, a worthy opponent. And it's Barbie. Because, of course, Barbie has been all these things and so much more. You cannot stand against the power of the Barbie. She is all things to all people. Okay, and on that note, we've already said where we can find us.
Yes.
Why don't you go buy a Pod Life the book and read about that stuff?
Yes.
So that maybe you too can be a podcaster, or at least know what it's like to do this and say, why would these people do this? And after that, why don't you come back here and connect with us, and even better, super connect with us again next week. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what you were just doing, but it was awesome.
That's a job.
He's a professional. That's why we need a professional job, people. This Charlie Esser.
Well, you know,
He's a showman.
I am a showman, and
Not
quite
a fancy
frankly, I
man.
did take that improv class